And the Yankees averted the total disaster after a Friday night and came back and won that rain-shortened game on Saturday. Garrett Cole pitched awesome again. And then, of course, you had the left field fan throw the ball and hit Verdugo, which is ridiculous.
What is going on with people?
Idiotic. You know, the other idiotic thing is the amount of other fans that were cheering that fan on. I don't know if you saw up in the stands.
Sure, they were all fired up. They loved it. They hit a Red Sox player with a baseball. Good for you.
So stupid. Anyway, and
is it because we weren't allowed to do things for a long time?
I don't know. It could be that. It could be alcohol. You know, it could
it's always alcohol, but
could be just immaturity. I'd like to know who the fan is. They won't put the fan's name out there. I haven't seen it. I'm sure somebody has it somewhere. But they basically have banned him from all baseball for the rest of his life. All baseball parks, I should say, for the rest of his life.
Banned for life.
Yeah, well, whatever that means. I mean, you know, at the end of the day, and I don't blame Verdugo for doing what he does, and I don't blame Alex Cora for pulling his team off the field.
Sure.
Now, the fact that they were playing in that rainstorm was amazing to me. And, you know, they lost Locastro to a knee injury.
Yeah.
And, you know, the injuries keep piling up for the Yankees. So to take 2 out of 3 from the Red Sox instead of having to play all 4 games, you know, it turned out to be a little bit of a break. They moved a little bit closer to the Tampa Bay Rays in terms of the wild card. But I can't explain it. Like you said it. They have like a bunch of no-names in this lineup, and you're like, what? How does that happen? How do they beat the Red Sox, who are loaded? Seems like at every position, maybe with the exception of starting pitching. But you know, that was a huge weekend for them. And it started off awfully on Friday with everything getting canceled and all that stuff. And then all of a sudden you losing Judge and Urshela and Nestor Cortez and all these guys to COVID-19 and all this other stuff. And then for the Mets, you have the Jacob deGrom news come down. You had the Francisco Lindor news come down. You all of a sudden, you know, lose 2 games to the Pirates, and Edwin Diaz blows up again now 2 times in a row. And are we back where we were 2 years ago with him? And how all of a sudden, you know, he can't find a plate, or when he does find a plate, the ball ends up out of the ballpark.
I mean, I'm sorry, and I know Mets fans were devastated by that loss. But Edwin Diaz pointing up like it's a routine fly ball when Stallings hits that is the funniest freaking thing I've seen all year. I think that is the funniest thing. It is Stallings, who's this 30-year-old catcher who hasn't been able to do anything in his life. He's the son of Kevin Stallings, who used to be the Pitt basketball coach, actually. They look exactly the same. This guy hits his pop. Edwin Diaz is like, it's up. That's the game. All right. Out. We got it out. And it keeps carrying and carrying and carrying. And all of a sudden, you've got the end of that. I mean, it's just hilarious.
And then, of course, we don't see him yesterday. Trevor May gets closes it out after Conforto hits a huge home run in the 9th inning, and I don't think anybody needed that more than he did.
Oh, of course. I mean, and the Mets, they would have been swept by the Pirates in that way. And Luis Rojas, who was dead wrong about the foul ball that the Pirates ended up scoring 3 runs on, and he's bumping the umpire, he gets thrown out. If anything, maybe you say that emotion got the team going a little bit, but yeah, that was bad. I mean, that was just really, really bad. The fact that you got this ball that's going up the line. It starts foul. It starts curving fair. Taijuan Walker hits it and knocks it out when it's on the line. And you've got now the Pirates just going around like a carousel, and nobody is going after the ball.
Well, Taijuan Walker's arguing.
But what? But okay, so even if you disagree with it, somebody go and get the ball.
Well, I mean, he admitted that after the game was over that he completely screwed up. So we could sit here and argue about it. He admitted it. We know it.
He wasn't the only one, though. There was other guys on the field. Like, go and get the ball.
Well,
just stand around thinking that you're right.
I don't know. At the end of the day, they're still in first place by 2 games over the Phillies. Yankees got
a little bit of fool's gold, in my opinion.
I know that because of like Francisco Lindor's hurt now with a sore side. You know, he's got all sorts of. They got all sorts of issues.
I mean, look at this. It's CBS Sports Network. Just put it up there. Like, let's just everybody just stand around. Remember that terrible Pirates play that they had where the guy got in a rundown at first base and all he had to do was step on the bag?
Yes.
Like, this might have been worse. Maybe not, but it's up there. That's the second most embarrassing play in baseball this year to that other Pirates play.
So there's one other thing that, there's 2 things. One is I know it's not getting a lot of play, at least here on the Fan, and that's the NBA Finals. But when I'm watching the NBA Finals, I'm watching it through the prism of Knicks glasses. And I'm saying to myself, what did the Knicks need to do in order to try to play with these teams, especially play with the teams within their conference? Let's forget about the Western Conference for a second. Just think about the Eastern Conference. Every single one of these teams has an established, unbelievable point guard that takes over games in situations and makes plays. Now, Drew Holiday did that in Game 5. He was great. And, he stole the game late in the game, and we've seen what Devin Booker and Chris Paul have been doing for Phoenix all year long. If somehow the Philadelphia 76ers get Damian Lillard, and they get rid of Ben Simmons, and maybe it's a trade, or I don't know, who knows? I mean, forget the Knicks. Forget it. They won't have a chance. So, just in my humble opinion, the Knicks have got to somehow get Damian Lillard as their starting point guard. They have to. They just have to. They have no other choice. You want to talk about Colin Sexton and all this other stuff? No, it's not going to do it. I think when I watch these games and I said to myself, all right, who are the Knicks playing against these point guards in the Eastern Conference? They don't have anybody. They don't have anybody remotely close to be able to stay with any of them. And then I was thinking, if the 76ers, who that Daryl Morey is trying to get rid of Ben Simmons, I don't care what you say. They want to get rid of him. The fans turned on him, and Simmons, to his credit, hasn't really said much. He's probably trying to work on his game, trying to do everything that he possibly can. But I was thinking, if the 76ers somehow packaged a deal to get Damian Lillard, forget the Knicks. Forget them. They're done.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine to compare, what the Knicks can offer in that deal. Now, maybe the Portland Trailblazers, are just not going to trade him, and I don't think Lillard goes full-blown NBA eject button stuff. He could, but it doesn't seem like it. He's putting the pressure on him, and I need to compete for championships and these things. It is close, but he's never been a guy that I thought would go full eject button, but he may. And then you're thinking, okay, and there's one report out there that he either wants to play for the 76ers or the Knicks. I don't know if that is true or not.
If the Sixers get him,
but Ben Simmons isn't someone who So, the first reaction is well, the Knicks can't compete with a package that the 76ers send over because Ben Simmons is in that package. Okay, but we're assuming that Ben Simmons is going to get his career on track. I mean, he's a guy who can't shoot.
He can't shoot, but he is
choked like a dog in the playoffs.
He's still a 6'10" point guard who handles the ball well.
He's getting paid a crap ton.
I know. He still dribbles. He still distributes very well, and he's still a very good defender. He's just not a scorer. Damian Lillard is a great shooter, a great scorer.
One of the best players in the NBA.
Yes.
Yeah, of course. We all know.
And that's why I'm just telling you, when I watch these games, and I said this when the whole series started with Atlanta, who's covering Trae Young and how are they going to stop him? And it bore itself out where they don't have anybody that could stay with him. And you could say the same thing. Who's going to stop Kyrie Irving when he decides to play and he is playing? Nobody. So now if somehow Damian Lillard comes here and goes to Philadelphia, that's a third guy that now you have no chance in stopping. So they have to do whatever they can, I believe, whatever they can do to get Damian Lillard.
Well, whatever they could do would be trading R.J. Barrett, Obi Toppin, Emmanuel Quickly, and every single pick that they have for the rest of their lives. That would be what they could do.
I think it's a little aggressive.
But that's what they'd have to do to get him.
But they're gonna.
What do you think they're gonna do? Trade Kevin Knox and Frank Ntilikina to get Damian Lillard?
Of course not.
So what? They have to give up all their young guys.
They have 2 draft picks in the first round. Those are very valuable.
R.J. Barrett has to be in the deal.
Well, maybe not.
No,
I don't
he
know.
has to be. If you're getting Damian Lillard, he has to be in the deal.
And fine then. Look, they have no choice. They have got to find themselves a legitimate starting point guard.
So there's nothing that they could trade away that would bother you if Damian Lillard is coming back in a deal.
It's one of those things where you just say to yourself, we got to have this guy. It's almost like having a quarterback. You got to have a quarterback in order to win.
I'll ask you again. So there's nothing that they would trade away that would you're saying they have to do it no matter what. So no matter what means no matter what.
I know why you're putting me in the corner, but I'm just...
You put yourself in the corner.
But you got to be honest. When you're watching these games and you try to put the Knicks in this situation...
I'm not watching the NBA Finals. It's a horrendous series. It's the most boring NBA Finals of all time.
Well, the last game was not boring.
Well, who cares? But if you don't care about the teams, who cares?
I actually like the teams.
No, you don't. You like the Bucks and the Suns? You're lying to me.
I'm just telling you, I like some of the storyline. Devin Booker's a hell of a basketball player, and so is Drew Holiday. And by the way,
I don't believe you.
Just remember, what did Milwaukee do in the offseason?
Milwaukee went out and they got Drew Holiday they went and they also acquired PJ Tucker during the season. Yeah, I understand.
Right.
Yeah. So,
but the point being is that they recognized that they needed somebody. Number one, I guess, to keep Giannis happy, and number two, to run the freaking basketball team.
Yeah, these two teams are in the finals because the good players got hurt. That's what happened.
Okay, well, it just happens. But, the fact is that you could see the guard play and how important it is, and it is so vital to any sort of success. And maybe Emmanuel quickly will be a year better. You don't want to just discard all your young players, especially if they're getting better. But I would just say, watching through those glasses, that the Knicks are so far away from being, and I know, like as a Knicks fan, it's a fool's goal that they made it to the playoffs. I don't think so. But then again, Julius Randle is not even being invited to play for USA Basketball. What does that tell you?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it says much, quite frankly. But I mean, really, you know what I'm saying? Like, does it really mean all that much?
Right.
Did Trae Young get invited? Did John Morant get invited? I mean, these guys are great players. They didn't get invited either.
Well,
I don't really
also,
even care.
how many point guards can you have on a team?
Yeah, but still, whatever. But I'm on the side of, and the reason why I was trying to get an answer out of you is I'm on the side of I don't care what the Knicks trade if Damian Lillard is a Knick. I don't care. And you will not hear one peep out of me if anybody gets sent over there. And I mean anybody. Anybody off the roster, every pick in the world, it doesn't mean a thing to me. That's the best player the Knicks would have had since Patrick Ewing, and he would be right here. It would be a superstar situation. They could build around him. Other superstars want to come here, and you can go take on the Nets with a real team and real superstars. So Barrett, quickly, Toppin, picks, I don't care. Trade the whole Madison Square Garden and play in Rucker Park. Doesn't make a difference to me. Okay. Get Damian Lillard in a Knicks uniform. Doesn't mean a damn thing what you trade.
All right, so you and I at least are on the same page about getting him here. There's no question about that. But how we get him here and how they get him here, that's a whole nother story.
Get him here makes a ton of sense.
It does.
Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit the red bell so you're notified when we have new content.